A warm welcome to all of you, and I thank you for taking this time to attend today's workshop. Now, this is the first of a series of workshops which is going to be conducted on ADSelfService Plus. So first, let me introduce myself. My name is Tom Jose, and I work in the marketing section of Manage Engine team. I hope my voice is audible and the display is well and clear. If not, please let us know immediately in the chat provided. So today's agenda, as put up in the slide, is mainly going to cover the password reset feature and how we can empower the users to reset their password for not only their AD account, but also for the on-premises and cloud applications as well. Let's get started. So what exactly is ADSelfService Plus and what does it do? ADSelfService Plus is a secure, web-based, end-user password reset management program. Nowadays, IT administrators all over the world are paying a price for implementing complex passwords to increase security. Thus, when end users forget their passwords, they are locked out of their computers and end up approaching the IT help desk with password reset or account unlock requests. Now, ADSelfService Plus provides these end users a simple but secure way to self-service password reset, self-service account unlock, and also update their personal information in Active Directory without IT help desk support, hence optimizing the expenses associated with help desk calls. So as you can see, today's topics we'll be going to cover are how to empower users to reset their passwords for both on-premises and cloud applications, implement enrollment-free password reset using the default mail and mobile attributes in Active Directory, allow users to reset password even when they are disconnected from the corporate network, strengthen password reset process through the multi-factor authentication method, including the SMS and email-based verification code and the Google Authenticator. Finally, I'll be showing you how to get alerts about the end user's password self-service actions by configuring email notifications. So let's get started. I'll just head over to the ADSelfService Plus homepage. And now I'm going to log in as the administrator. So once logged in, you can see on the right side the domain I'm currently viewing. And just above that is the domain settings. And within that, I can see the two domains I've already added. The first one being the SSP child, which has been added with the ADSSP-DC3 domain controller. And the second one, there's another domain, which is the ADSSP.local. So if I want to delete a domain, I can just go here and click delete and click on OK. Or if I want to add a new domain, I can just do it again from here itself, or modify the domain by giving its credentials, etc. So with that being covered, let me head to the next step, and that is to show you where you can configure the on-premise or the cloud application. So for that, you need to head over to the configuration tab on the top left. Then on the left side under self-service, we have the password synchronizer. Now here we have 12 apps which supports password synchronizer. Among this, I have already configured one such app, and that is a cloud-based application called Zoho. So with that being configured, I'll just sign out and pretend to be a user who's already enrolled but has forgotten his password. So in that scenario, I'll just go ahead to forgot your password link and type in that username, that is Eddie, and click continue. So because Eddie, while enrollment, he had configured two security question answers, he just has to answer them. So the first one being is, what is your mother's maiden name? Let me just answer that. And the second one being the country you always dreamt of vacationing in. I shall answer that as well. And then for the captcha, that is O5R5H2, and continue. So with that, I have successfully authenticated the user Eddie and he's on to the password reset page. Now a few things before I type the new password is that on the top right of this page is the time left for this operation. Now by default it is 5 minutes, and if you do exceed this time limit, your session will expire and you need to start all over again. Also, from the administrators page, you can choose to extend this time or reduce this time limit according to your convenience. Now on the left side, we have the domain password policy requirements, which we have to follow while typing in the new password. And then we have the select accounts, and here is where you choose which all accounts that are linked to your AD account do you wish to change the password for. So currently I've only configured one such account, that is a Zoho. So I'm going to change the password for both my AD account and my Zoho account. So I'll just type the new password and let me just confirm that. Then for the captcha, that is EHQ7ON and reset. So as you can see, the password reset was a success for both my AD account and for my Zoho account. So in order to confirm it, I'll just log in to my Zoho account with the credentials of Eddie. So let me just give login and type in his username, that is Eddie at quick11.com, and his new password. Let me just type that. And as you can see, I have been successfully logged in, which meant that the password reset was a success not only for the AD account, but as well as for my Zoho account, which was a linked account. So let me just sign out from this. Now I'll head back home to the main page. Now I'm going to show you what happens if a user who has not yet enrolled into ADSelfService Plus but has forgotten his password tries to do the same method. So now I'll just go to forgot your password link and type in that user who has not yet enrolled. The username is Tom Joes. And when I click on continue, you can see that I've received an error message that says you are required to enroll with security questions. And if at all you haven't enrolled, you have to log in with your password and enroll. But since you have forgotten the password, it's impossible for you to do it. And it's also mentioned that you have to contact your admin in case you don't remember your password. But this will just go and lead to another help desk call. Don't worry. In this scenario, ADSelfService Plus has another authentication method, and that is the verification code. So the verification code basically sends a verification a code to your email ID or your mobile number, which you can use to confirm your authentication during the reset password or unlock account process. So in order to enable it, you need to head to the administrator login page, within which you have to go to the configuration tab. And here under policy configuration, we have the multi-factor authentication. Now by default, the security question answer is enabled, and we have other two authentication methods as well. So I'll just head over to the verification code, and now I'm going to click on enable verification code for email address. And when I click save, I get a pop-up that says that in order to enable verification code for email address, you need to first configure the mail server. So if I just click on OK for this pop-up, I will be redirected to the server settings, under which is the mail settings. So let me just give in my mail server credentials. So mail server is SMTP, port is 25, the firm address is tomjoes.m@sohocorp.com. Admin mail address, I'm going to keep it as the same. And within the advanced settings, let me give in my SMTP authentication, that is tom-2525, and the password, let me just type that and save. So with that, I have successfully updated my mail settings for ADSelfService Plus. So now let me head back to the configuration tab, go to the multi-factor authentication, and again to the verification code tab, and enable it for email address alone. And now I'll click on save. Now I'll sign out and try to go to the forgot your password link and try to reset the password for the user Tom Jones. Now one more thing you need to keep in mind before trying this method is that you need to make sure that you have an email address or a mobile number configured in the respective attributes of the user's AD account. That is the mail attribute and the mobile attribute. So in my AD account, that such attribute is already configured as tomjoes92@gmail.com. So I'll be able to use this method. So now I'm going to give in my username, that is Tom Joes, and click continue. And you can notice that instead of showing the error message which I received earlier, I'm right now shown my email ID to which I can send the verification code. So let me just type in the CAPTCHA, that is PII9HH, and continue. Now I believe the verification code would have been sent to my Gmail account, so let me just head there. And yes, it has. So just as we had configured the message, it says, "Dear Tom Joes, we understand that you want to reset your password or unlock account. To prevent eavesdropping and substantiate your identity, please enter this verification code in the password reset or unlock account page." So let me just copy this verification code and head back to that page, paste it here, and then for the CAPTCHA, that is 9MQ9OF, and continue. And with that, I have successfully authenticated the user via the verification code method to the reset password page. And now all I need to do is type in a new password considering the domain password policy requirements. And here as well, there are two accounts the password is going to be reset for, that is Tom Joes of AD account and Tom Joes of the Zoho account. So let me just type in the new password, that is, and confirm it as well. Then for the CAPTCHA, that is FGM35M, and reset. So with that, the password has been successfully changed for my Tom Joes AD account and Tom Joes Zoho account. Now, with this scenario, I just showed you how you can send your verification code to your email ID, which is configured, which is basically the primary email ID. Now, what if you want to use another email ID or another mail attribute within your AD account? So in that case, you can just go ahead to admin login and click on configuration, within which we have the multi-factor authentication, and there we have advanced, and the last tab you can see is the verification code, and here you can choose. So currently in the domain SSP child, in the mail, we have only the mail attribute configured, and in the mobile we have two attributes, that is the mobile and other mobile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to the mail and add one more attribute, and that is basically the user principal name, and tick that, and now I'm going to click OK, and now let's see what happens. So I'll just try resetting the password for the user Tom Joes, and I'll click on forgot your password. And when I type the username Tom Joes, instead of just one email ID, I'll be given a choice of two email IDs. The first one being is my primary email ID, that is tomjoes92@gmail.com, and the second one being is tomjoes.m@zohocom.com. Now this is the scenario if you want a secondary email ID. Now what if you want a personal email ID as well to be added? So that in that scenario, you can just head over to the domain user login and log in as yourself, that is in my case Tom Joes. Let me just type the password. And once logged in, I just head over to the enrollment tab, within which under verification code, I have an option over here to enter my personal email ID. I'm going to choose that as tomjoes92@hotmail.com and click on update. And now when I sign out and click on forgot your password link again, given my username that is Tom Joes and continue. This time I'll have three options, first being the primary mail ID. Second one is the secondary mail ID which I just configured. And the third one is my personal email ID which I configured from the domain user login. So, and that's how the verification code works and how flexible it is in terms of sending the verification code to either your primary, secondary or personal email ID. So now let's just head back to the today's topics to cover. And as you can see, I've covered the first two topics. The first one being is how to reset the passwords of both on-premise and cloud application. The second, I showed you how to implement enrollment-free password reset using the default mail and mobile attributes in AD. I also showed how to use a secondary mail and a personal email ID as well. Now next what I'm going to show you is how to allow users to reset password when they are disconnected from the corporate network. So I'll head back to the ADSelfService Plus, and here within the administrative tools we have a feature called the Gina Mac or the Control Alt Delete screen. So what happens exactly is that when you are not connected to your network, that is your Zoho, that is your corporate network, and if you have the ADSelfService Plus hosted over the internet, then you can reset the password via that in the AD, but since you're not connected to the network, your cache password will not be updated. So basically, if you install the Gina Mac, like how I'm going to show you, I'll just choose this current computer, that is ADSSP-DC2. Second. So I'm going to install the Gina Mac client, and once it's installed, within my change password screen or my lock screen, I'll have the option to reset or unlock the account via ADSelfService Plus. So imagine if I'm locked out like this, then if I just click on the reset password unlock account page, I'll be headed over to this specific page of ADSelfService Plus where I can click reset password and given my domain username that is Tom Joes and continue. And you know the remaining process, I'll just given my verification code and confirm it and etc. So what happens when you're not connected to the network? Now in this scenario, you will be able to change the password, but the password will not be updated to the cache password in your machine. So for that particular purpose, we have another feature that is updating the cache credentials over VPN. So what we do in this is basically we enable the VPN settings, and we can give either of the three VPN applications, that is either Fortinet or Windows native VPN or Cisco IPsec. Given the host or IP name, the port number, and basically the location in which this program is stored. And once that is done, while the Gina Mac is pushed to all the machines, this VPN settings will be pushed as well. Now let me show you the workflow. So as you can see here in this diagram, what happens is first the domain user, that is Gina CP client, will be doing a reset password request via the ADSelfService Plus, which is hosted in the internet. Then the password reset will be a success within the Active Directory, and the ADSelfService Plus will return the password to the Gina CP client. But it's still not over, because if you try logging into your computer with the new password, it'll show incorrect password as the cache password has not been updated. So what Gina CP does is it basically sends the verified cache password via the VPN network, which is pushed to all devices, and it sends that to the same Active Directory or basically your network, where it gets verified as the cache password gets verified, and then it comes back to the Gina CP client, or that is basically your machine, and then it updates the cache password. So this can be really helpful if your password has been expired or if you've forgotten your password. So in that scenario, when you're away from your machine, your network, then you don't have to struggle or you don't have to wait to get back to your network in order to use your computer. You can just do this process and your password will be changed and you can continue using it and work from home. So this is how you can allow users to reset password even when they're disconnected from the corporate network. And the next one, what I'm going to show you is how to strengthen the password reset process through the multi-factor authentication methods. So right now, I already showed you two methods. One is the security question answers method, and the other one is the verification code method. Then we have another method that is the Google Authenticator. We can also club all these three authentication methods so that the security for authenticating for reset password or unlocking account is an extra strong. This means basically you have to go through every authentication method, that is the verification code, the security question answers, and the Google Authenticator. So let me show you how that is done. So I head back to the configuration tab, within which is the policy configuration. Under that, I have the multi-factor authentication. So you can see that the security question answer is already enabled. Then the verification code is also enabled. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to enable the Google Authenticator. Let me just click on enabled and click save. And now we need to club it. So I'll just click on advanced settings. And here we have certain options. And you can reorder how you want to enforce the authentication options. So I can put the verification code first, Google Authenticator second, and the last one as security questions. Now, if you want to club it or if you want to enable all of them at once, you can just click on this tick option on each of them. And now it has been made mandatory for the user to go through each of these authentication methods in order to reset or unlock their account. Now this can be really helpful for certain departments in your organization such as finance or administrators, etc., as it provides the maximum security it can. Then I'll show you certain settings within the question answer settings as well. So within the QA settings, we have certain things within the questions such as how many questions you want to display out of the ones configured, whether you want to display the security questions one by one or all at once. And then within the answer settings, you can choose to prevent the user from providing the username as answer or providing the same answer to multiple questions or preventing a user from using any word of the questions in his answer, etc. Then within the verification code, I had already showed you how to configure a secondary mail or mobile attribute. You can also choose to enable the secondary mail and mobile data enrollment, or you can force the users to specify the alternate email ID or mobile number. So now I'll just click on OK, and I've already configured the authentication methods as mandatory for each user. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the reset password process and click on forgot your password and given the username that is Tom Joes and click on continue. Yes, now again I received this error. Do you know why? This basically happens because since I made each and every method mandatory, the user Tom Joes has only configured one authentication method. That is, he has not configured his security questions and his Google Authenticator. So for that purpose, I need to head back and log in as myself, that is Tom Joes. Let me just type his password. Okay, incorrect password, I'm sorry. So now, because those methods have been made mandatory, I'll be given a pop-up that says I need to complete my enrollment. So I'll just click here. And now I'm being redirected to the enrollment tab. So first I need to enroll with my security question answers. So the first one I'm going to give is, what is your mother's maiden name? Let me just type that answer. And the second one I'm going to choose is the country you always dreamt of vacationing in. I'll type that answer as well. And if you want to type the answer only once, and if you want to see what exactly you typed, you can just click on uncheck this option and you'll be able to do that. And now when I click enroll, I'll be asked to configure the Google Authenticator as well. So now in this situation, what the Google Authenticator does is that first you need to install the app in your mobile phone. And within the mobile phone, you can scan the barcode which you see right now. And once you scan it, I'm sorry, I'm not able to show you what I'm doing in the background. You'll be seeing a code in the mobile, and I'll just type that. That is 90. 1 second, it's just changing. That is 756479, and click on enroll. Okay, I guess I guess I'm seeing an error which shows that it's an invalid code because how the time difference is there between my ADSelfService Plus and the Google Authenticator app. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just change the timing, and let me just make it the exact time on my phone. And let me just make it. So let me just try this again. That is 937985 and enroll. And yes, so that was the error. So you need to make sure that your mobile app and your ADSelfService Plus machine is synced with time. Now once that is done, I can just sign out and try resetting my password again. So the username is Tom Juice, and I'll click on continue. And now for my email ID, first thing is my verification code. So I'll just give that as Gmail ID itself. And then for the CAPTCHA, that is Q2904H, and continue. Okay, I'm sorry, the image was wrong. Let me just type it again. That is Q25SER. Then let me just head over to my Gmail account and see if I've got that message. And yes, I have. So I'll just copy that code, paste it here, and type in my CAPTCHA again. That is 9G6NIB, and continue. And then I have to give the code from my Google Authenticator app. That is 258159. Then for the CAPTCHA, that is 5F9IKJ, and continue. Finally, the last authentication method, and that is security question answers. So let me just answer that. First question is, what is your mother's maiden name? Let me just type that. Second question is the country you always jump to vacationing in. I'll type that answer as well. And then for the CAPTCHA, that is S7FBE4, and continue. So again, with this, I have just authenticated myself to all the three mandatory authentication methods. That is the verification code in the beginning, followed by Google Authenticator, and finally the security question answers. So now I'll just type in the new password and confirm it as well. Then for the CAPTCHA, that is 4TGI40, and reset. Again, the password has been reset successfully for both my AD account and for my Zoho account as well. So with that, I just showed you how to strengthen the password reset process by clubbing all the multi-factor authentication methods. And finally, I'll get to the last part of this workshop, and that is how to get alerts about the end user's password self-service action by configuring email notification. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to configure that particular notification. So to do that, you need to go to policy configuration within the administrator page, head over to the advanced settings. Now within the advanced settings, we have 6 options, and within the notification option, we can choose to notify via mail. And basically, if you do this, the end user will get a notification when he does any such actions regarding reset password or unlock account or change password. So this can be helpful if at all the user wants a confirmation that he himself is only doing it and no one else is doing it. So I've just enabled for that. And then finally notify the admin. So when I enable this, any any of these following actions which any end user does, the administrator will also be notified and he can keep track of who's doing what. So I'll just click on OK and just check if everything was successfully enabled. So reset password, change password, and notify admin. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and try to do, and I'm going to log in as the user Tom Joes. I'm going to do a change password operation. So I'll just head that and give in my old password first and my new password. Let me just type that. Let me just confirm it as well and click change. So now my password has been changed and not reset, it's changed. So what I'm going to be getting is within my Gmail ID, I'll be getting a password change acknowledgement. So it'll be basically telling me that my password has been changed. And from the administrator's point of view, he will be getting a notification which says Tom Joes from SSP Child has performed a password change and also mentions the time. Now these messages are customizable, so you can choose any format and make it easily understandable by the IT help desk people or the end users. So with that, I've just showed you the last exercise, that is basically how to get alerts about the end users password self-service actions. Now, every user might be doing some action or the other, and if the administrator gets a mails of each and everything, he won't be able to use it, won't be enough to keep in track because there'll be endless of mails. So what ADSelfService Plus provides is the reports tab, and he can choose, the administrator can choose to see either of these three reports. So if there's any users who's locked out or soon to expire password or password expired, he can just click on these reports and see that. Then within the audit reports, he can just choose to click on the reset password audit report, and you can see which all users have reset their password and at what time and for which all accounts as well. So next we have the change password as well. And here also you can see what time he did it from, and it was attempted from where, how many attempts, etc. So that's in summary the audit reports. And then we have the enrollment reports as well. So here we can choose to see which all users have already enrolled into the ADSelfService Plus, which all users who have not yet enrolled. And then we can also see which are the security question answers, basically which all users has configured what security question answers. And don't worry, the answers are asterisked, so that won't be an issue. So with that, I've come to the end of today's workshop as I've covered all the set exercises in the agenda. Now next session I'll be covering the password sync feature, which I already showed a demo of in the beginning. So in the password synchronizer, you can choose to configure any of these apps, link it with your AD account, and sync the password changes, whether it's while resetting or while changing or while unlocking as well. So thank you all for being such a wonderful audience and being patient with us. Now any questions regarding the session can be put forward in the chat box, to which we will reply immediately. Also, please take a minute or two to fill up the feedback form mailed to you after this session to let us know your thoughts on today's workshop and any room for improvement. Now the video of this workshop will be available online and also shared with you personally on request through the chat or feedback form. I repeat, the video of this workshop will be available online and also shared with you personally on request through the chat or feedback form. Also, you can get in touch with our support team for any query at support@adselfserviceplus.com. I repeat, support@adselfserviceplus.com. Please remember, the registration of this AD Self-Service Plus workshop is for the entire series. and the reminder will be sent to you a day before the workshop every week. So I'm looking forward to meeting you all next week. Thank you once again and a good day to all.